Y'all check out my Maleficent. Yes. 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 I saw her. I had to have her. You will be seeing a lot of her. Don't you worry. All right. So it is not time to talk about Maleficent, but it is time to talk about our business. So you guys know every week, this is what we do. Let's talk about systems this week. And I know for some of you, you're like, I don't like systems. Some of you may be wondering, what is a system? Maybe you're newer or you're rejoining, you're relaunching your business, and you're like, I hear people talk about this. You probably do if you watch any kind of Scentsy trainings, Scentsy videos, network marketing video, all the things, right? I guarantee you're hearing the word systems, okay? Systems are honestly just things that you consistently do in your business. That's right. That's all a system is, right? So it's basically like when someone joins my team, I do A, B, and C. When I get a new team member, I do 1, 2, 3. When I do follow-ups, I do these things, right? So fill in the blanks there. Systems are something, though, that I consider a living and breathing thing, meaning they should be constantly changing and evolving with your business. If your business is not changing, it's always staying the same, well, here's a little hard truth for you, okay? I know that you've heard this saying before too, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes. We have to be consistently, consciously moving and changing our business. When I joined in 2012, I will tell you, we didn't do a whole lot of stuff on Facebook, right? Yes, Facebook was around, but people weren't really utilizing it for network marketing or for parties or for things like that. We were doing more traditional home parties, fundraisers, events, right? All of those kinds of things. And so it took us who were doing businesses like Scentsy to really kind of figure out, how are we going to utilize this new tool, right? So a lot of people had to make a big change. They had to learn Facebook. They had to learn how to do more social media and marketing and all the different things, right? They had to change some things that they were doing in their business. Now, here we are. It is 2023. And if y'all are a part of my amazing director, Lisa Sanderson's group, she has discussed this quite frequently. Facebook has changed, right? They have changed. They have really kind of gotten a little bit more strict with their terms of service and their rules for how we're using their platform. Remember, friends, we don't own Facebook. Facebook is not ours, right? You may have your profile, your VIP group, your business page, all the things, but none of that belongs to you. It actually belongs to Facebook, okay? So over probably the last, 3 to 4 years, I personally have been trying lots of different ways and have been tweaking my systems to be able to retain my customers if Facebook were not an option, right? So how could I own my customers is really kind of how I was looking at it. How am I connecting with my customers? Well, for one, I have really stepped up my email game. So there's that, right? My customers get a weekly email from me of what's going on with Scentsy, what's coming up this week, this month, what's to look forward to, right? All the things, because in our business, the way that our business is right now, the way Scentsy has everything set up, we either have product launches every single week, or maybe we have something coming up the next week, right? We're in a brand new season for our catalog, fall and winter. It literally just launched, right? We've got our harvest collection. Coming up next is going to be our holiday collection, not to mention all of the LTOs and everything else that we've got going on. There's a lot happening, right? So I have a reason to be reaching out to my customers every single week. Does that mean my customers are all buying every single week? Well, gosh darn it, I sure wish that was true, right? But they're not. They have certain things that maybe they have their eye on. Maybe they just had a party or just put in a big order and they're stocked up and they're good to go for a minute, right? But if something catches their attention, they're probably going to place an order, right? Because they love Scentsy, they're fans of what we offer, and we do offer a lot of great and amazing products, right? So part of my system has been to really find a way to connect with those customers. And like I said, one of those ways has been through email. This is not something that happened overnight for me. It was not just okay, it's Monday and this week I'm just going to start emailing and I'm going to go from there, right? I have really utilized Flowdesk. So you guys who follow me, you know probably by now because you've probably heard me talk about it. And I've got some videos on Flowdesk as well on how I use it, how I really integrate it into my business. And in the description of my video, when this goes on YouTube, you'll see that there is a link for Flowdesk that you can get, so you can get a free trial and then you can get a great discount if you want to start utilizing it. It's just a platform that I personally have loved. I've tried MailChimp, I've tried Madmimi. What's the other one? Constant Contact, I think, is what I originally tried like years ago. I've tried different platforms, and Flowdesk is just the one that I personally like, right? So by all means, you do what works for you, boo. But it was something that I really had to start incorporating little by little by little with my customers. I couldn't just transform it overnight. And now it has become a really great system for me in terms of customer relationship building. That's a mouthful, right? So customer relationship building, CRB, is something that I really have kind of focused my main energy with when it comes to my customers. How can I build those relationships? Because my customer base, probably at least 80% of my customer orders every single month are repeat customers. Repeat customers. That's a large percentage, right? So what does that tell me? What does that tell you? That should tell you that I'm building relationships with my customers, right? So that means I'm having conversations with them. And let me tell you, I personally do not live on Facebook 24/7. I have a life and I have other things to do. I schedule things. I set things up. I strategically utilize Facebook for what I need it to. But at the end of the day, I don't rely on Facebook for my business. And I'm going to tell y'all here and now, a lot of this new social media is really pulling away from Facebook. And especially for those of us who are network marketers, right? Because their terms of service are really being beefed up right now. They're really trying to lean away from having this be a business community and more or less like a social network, right? Which is what it was originally planned out to be. That's honestly what it was, right? We just have used it for our own means. Facebook, with some consultants have found, I haven't noticed it yet, but I'm sure I'll probably hit it at some point or another. But some consultants, there's a good number of consultants out there that Lisa had kind of brought to light. These customers are these consultants are finding that when they're posting their link to their website, it's getting blocked or it's getting flagged for spam. All of these things are starting to happen, right? So what would happen if you weren't able to utilize Facebook? How would you communicate with your customers? Do you have a system? And it doesn't have to be email, right? It could be text. You could be utilizing, just texting people in general. If your business has grown and you've got a nice big customer base, that's when I would highly suggest trying to look at a system to be able to facilitate those texts. There's WhatsApp, the WhatsApp app, right? You can utilize that. There's Project Broadcast. There are a lot of different ways that you can utilize texting to communicate with others and with your customers. So you could do it that way. You could do it through emails. A lot of my systems and relationships with my customers are built upon saying thank you and doing follow-ups. I have a very strong follow-up system that I'm really intentional about, okay? That doesn't mean that there aren't some weeks that I fall off the wagon and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't touched it. I need to get back to it. Other things have taken precedence or other things have taken time. We had a big launch or whatever, right? And so what does that mean, right? I'm just going to throw that back into my rotation. I'm going to make sure it's there because that follow-up piece is part of that customer building relationship piece, right? So building those relationships and keeping them strong is what my customers are thankful for. So you have to figure out what system is going to work best for you. And maybe right now it is Facebook. I don't know. I am going to just give you a little bit of a warning, right? Give you a little bit of a warning. I wouldn't put all my eggs in the Facebook basket because I can tell you right here and right now, those terms of service with Facebook, their rules that they have for their platform, they're just going to continue to enforce them. All right. So we're going to have to get creative. We're going to have to figure out different ways to work our business. So I really want you guys to maybe think about the systems you're using. How are you communicating with your customers? Is it mainly Facebook? And if it is, then you need to say, okay, if Facebook were to start banning or shadow banning or blocking what I'm posting, how am I going to talk to my customers? Because I want you guys to be prepared if that happens. The last thing you want is to not have a way to contact your customers. You need to be able to manage your customer base. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. Well, not literally, because I am under an NDA. I can't do too much. But I will tell you that Scentsy has been really working hard behind the scenes. And there is a whole new change coming to the contacts tab of your workstation. All right. If you guys, mine looks a little bit different, I believe, than most right now, because again, I'm doing the beta program. Mine looks a little bit different, but let me tell you right here and right now, you are going to see a major change coming from that. And what that means for us is we are going to have more control over being able to get to our customer information. Our customers that get into your contacts tab are getting there because they've either A, ordered from your website, they've gone to your website, or they've gone to your website and maybe they haven't ordered, but they've subscribed to your newsletter, right? Maybe they just have hit that button. They're thinking about it. Maybe you've had conversations about them joining your team, what have you, right? Maybe you've had a fair or an event where you collected customer information. If you haven't already, go ahead and input those contacts into your contacts tab of your workstation, because this is going to be a system that I'm telling you right here and right now. I know myself, and I'm pretty sure Lisa has as well. We've been a part of this beta program and really working with it. And it is literally light years from what it used to be and what it always has been. So for a lot of us as leaders, as people who have been consultants for a while, right, we've had to find other ways to kind of create that because the contacts tab just really wasn't doing it for us, right? We were seeing there were duplicates that we couldn't get rid of, and it was just hard to find things. You couldn't really search well. There's just a lot of different little roadblocks. So we did come up with other ways. The contacts tab, however, in your workstation, like I said, undergoing a whole revitalization, and it is going to be able to produce for you more accurate information. So as you're capturing information from your customers, you need to make sure that you're capturing it correctly. What does this mean? What this looks like in simple terms is, let's say you are placing a bulk order for local people in your area. Now, maybe as a consultant, you've just automatically said, oh, well, I'm just going to place a bulk order. I'll just put it under me and I'll just order everything that everybody's given me that they want to order. Boom, there it is. I'll wait for it to come in and then I know who it's going to because I know who ordered what, right? Okay, here's the thing. When you are entering those orders, if you aren't already doing this, this is what I'm suggesting you start doing now. And you can always go back and tweak things. But go in when you are placing those orders, even if it's one bulk order, but create a party or attach it and then create customer contacts for each of those people who are ordering for you. And then you can utilize that to be able to pull forward that information later. Because here's the thing. When in 6 months, you want to go and run a report and say, hey, we're getting ready to maybe start, we're looking in the future, right? We're getting ready to start the new spring, summer catalog. I want to make sure I'm touching all of my people who ordered from me in fall and winter to give them that last chance. You want to be able to reach back to those people who were ordering, right? So if you're just doing big bulk orders under only your name and not inputting customer information, then that report is going to be useless to you, right? Because you're not going to have anybody but yourself listed there with all of the products. And then you're going to have to really think back and go through one by one. So start doing it now. If you're placing a big bulk order and you're just still placing it under yourself, that's fine. But then go to your contacts tab and create add contact and create a contact with that patient. Sorry, I have been at work for too long today. With that customer's information. The main pieces of information that you're really going to want to get from your customers: name, hello, right? You want to know who you're talking to, email. And I love getting a text phone number or a cell phone number, right? Because honestly, let's be real. That's probably how we're going to communicate, right? So those are the big main ones. And then, of course, I want to make sure I'm getting their address. Now, I will tell you that personally, even with me going at work and placing bulk orders, I do create that, but not every time I may be getting their home addresses. So that's something that I'm working on, that I'm trying to do better with and capturing that information. But one of the ways that I found to really be able to do that efficiently and effectively is to just utilize a job form. I utilize a job form and it just says, I'd love to add you to my circle. It asks for their name, their address, their email, their text, and then I will usually ask for what's your preferred method of communication? Some people like email, some people like text, some people like a phone call, some people like a messenger, whatever, right? So I always give them those options. And then that way I know when I'm following up with them how am I going to contact them? So it's just little things like that, right? That you're just going to tweak along the way. And what this is going to do, again, I'm telling you as someone who has been a consultant since 2012, you can imagine my contacts tab is just chaotic, right? Because I have had customers that I was working with in 2012 that I met at a one-time event that I really didn't follow up with. I will tell you, it's messy. So I encourage you guys, as you are growing that customer base, to really focus in on how you're capturing that info and getting that info in there, because it's really going to make a big difference for you. And it's going to make your world and your life a lot easier when you're going back to follow up or you want to search to see who ordered this scent, right? Those are the ways that we're going to be able to utilize that by just using our workstation. So that's one system, right? That's a system for follow-up. That's a system for customer retention, right? Building relationships with our customers. That's one system. There are only a handful of systems that I really think that you should focus in on. Whether you're new, whether you're trying to grow your business, or rather you're a OG consultant like me, right? And you're just like, maybe I need a revamp because Things aren't changing in my business, right? I'm just not getting the orders like I used to, or people just aren't buying from me like they used to, right? If your numbers are not increasing, then you need to be tweaking what you're doing. And part of that has to do with the systems you're using, right? So one system is building customer relationships, all right? So it is follow-up, really. You need a follow-up system. You need a system in place for when someone joins your team. I call it my onboarding system, all right? As you start to grow as a consultant and start to grow a team, that's when we're going to kind of tackle as a leader, what a system would look like when people are joining people who are your front line, right? So someone's joined your team, that's your front line. When they start having people joining them, those people become your downline, right? And as a leader, we can look at that from a couple of different viewpoints, right? So that's something that we'll get into for more of our leadership call, right? But I just wanted to touch on that there. That's just something that you want to just maybe start thinking about. Those of you, and I know who you are, my movers and my shakers, right? You guys have your sights set and you're going to get there. So I want you to kind of start just having that in the back of your mind, right? That's what I'm going to be working on next, right? You're going to be taking that system and then leveling up a notch with it, right? You're just going to dig in a little bit deeper. So we want to have a follow-up system. We want to have an onboarding system. And then what we really want to focus on is that tried and true, consistency. Consistency. How are you working your business consistently? Because here's one of the things that I can tell you that has helped me to be successful in my business. Straight up consistency. Consistency in doing the things that I'm doing every single week. All right? Y'all know I work full-time. Scentsy is my second full-time job. I'm in school full-time. I have a family. I have other things that are going on. I got a grandbaby. I have a very busy schedule. And in order for me to stay on top of everything, I have to be intentional and lean on those systems. And when I notice that something isn't working, that's when I have to tweak it. And I really have to step back and say, okay, this used to work for me. It's no longer working. What else can I try? And when you're trying something, you want to really give it a nice little trial period, right? Maybe you want to start trying an email and start emailing your customers that way. You're going to have to work up to that, right? Again, it's not going to happen overnight. Just like your business is not going to grow and explode overnight, right? You're not going to wake or go to bed tonight as a certified consultant and wake up tomorrow as a director. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take working. It's going to be taking intentional steps to get you there. And that's what these weekly training calls are all for, right? Helping you to find ways to stay consistent. Consistency is the name of the game. It really, truly is. No matter if you're emailing, no matter if you're Facebooking, no matter if you're texting, no matter if you're writing notes to your customers every single month, sending huge happy mail packages, whoever it is that you're doing it, it doesn't matter. What matters is, are you doing it consistently? And that's how you create those systems. So those are the 3 areas that this week I really want you guys to take a look at, right? So write these down, right? You're going to write down a follow-up / customer relationship system, okay? How are you going to be capturing that information? And how are you going to be communicating with people, customers? You need an onboarding system, right? That is when people are joining you, when you have people joining your team. And again, leadership hat, put your leadership hat on. And I want you to forward think a little bit. What am I going to do when they start sponsoring? Okay. Just kind of have that in the back of your head. But you really need an onboarding system. All right. There's plenty of different ways that we could do this. And we're going to dig into these as we go throughout the rest of the month. And then I want you to have a consistency system. Consistency. I know it might sound silly, it might sound crazy, it might sound weird. I don't care what it sounds like. Let me just tell you from experience, this is how we make things happen. This is how we do it, is to stay consistent. Okay. Last week, if you guys missed last week's Tuesday training, I went through literally how I work my business every single week. So I went through literally what do I do every single week, every single day of the week. And that's how I stay consistent in my business. So go back and watch that video. That will give you some tips and ideas and maybe get you thinking, okay, that's how she's doing it. How can I form that around my life, right? Because remember, we put Scentsy into our life. We don't make our life about Scentsy. It's literally becoming intertwined, right? That's where we're at with our business. And this is how, when you do this, and when you're consistent in doing these things, that's when you're going to start to see growth. And you want to really look at month over month growth. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about on the leadership call, which I will get that set up, hopefully tonight. If not, I will definitely get it out tomorrow. But we're really going to put our leadership hats on, and we're going to look at how we're setting up our month and how we are really looking forward in our business, how we're going to grow, how we're going to get there, and the things that we need to do in order to really foster that leadership mindset. Okay. Because it's really, truly, for those, the movers and shakers, okay, those of you who are the movers and shakers, you know who you are. This is what you're going to want to dig into. And I wish I had done that sooner in my business. I truly do. That is the one, I don't like to say that I have regrets, but it's one of the things that I really wish, looking back, I wish I would have started things like this a lot sooner in my business, because I really wasn't forward thinking. Because for like the first year of my business, this was not a business. It was strictly a hobby. I was just kind of doing it to do it, and I really didn't put too much effort and energy into it. And then I started really deciding, you know, okay, I want to start to work this as a business. So I kind of had to work backwards. And if you guys are in that same boat, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who are newer, right, and you've joined somewhat recently, then these are the things that I wish I had done. That's what I'm sharing with you. The things that I wish I would have done from the beginning to get started in my business, to really get to where I am now a lot quicker than I did. And that's really what I want to be able to give to you guys, is those things, those abilities, and those opportunities. Because this business can and will change your life in multiple ways. I'm not just talking financial, #see the income disclosure, right? I'm not just talking about that. I'm just talking about in general. It's really going to open you up. You're going to build friendships. You're going to have relationships with other consultants. You're going to meet people. You're going to find that this community that we are involved in is a community that is strong, that is loyal, and that is amazing. The people that I have met through Scentsy have been some of the most impactful people in my life. And that's what I want you guys to really take away and listen and understand, that it's not just all about that paycheck, even though, let's be honest, right? A lot of us want to get there. That's what we're going for. But there's other things that go along with it. That's just like bonus on top of it. And I love it. So we're going to focus on those 3 things this week, right? Okay. All right. If you guys need some help personally, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to let me know what your concerns are. So reach out to me and let me know. And we're going to be setting up a collaboration call so we can all get together and we can kind of brainstorm. We can talk through a lot of these different pieces and really dig in a lot further. So I will talk to you guys soon, and it is time now for shout outs. So get ready, friends, get ready. Y'all know that's my favorite time of the week. So That's what I have for you this week. Don't forget to tune in. Watch the events tab in the group because you don't want to miss the ones that are coming up that we're going to be digging into and really moving our businesses, moving that needle. That's what we want to start happening. So I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.